If you're like most people, you probably think of ancient Egypt as a dusty, ancient civilization. But did you know that there are still plenty of surprises to be found in the land of the pharaohs? Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll take a look at some of the rarest and most fascinating discoveries that have been made in recent years. So sit back and enjoy as we explore some of the most intriguing finds in this ancient land. Let's start with Tomb KV5. 1995 excavations at KV5 uncovered the fact that the little-studied tomb was in fact the biggest tomb that had ever been built in the Valley of the Kings. The tomb is still being excavated, and as of the most recent report, the archaeologists have discovered 121 passageways and chambers inside it. The experts have said that they believe more than 150 will ultimately be unearthed. Archaeologists discovered that the tomb was used to inter the pharaoh Ramesses II's kids at some point in the past. KV5 is believed to have held the remains of at least 6 sons of royal families. It is possible that there were so many sons buried in the tomb since there are more than 20 depictions of sons carved into its walls. Archaeologists working on the Theban mapping project detailed their findings in a paper that was uploaded to the organization's website. The Emperor of Silver is the next one on our list. Pierre Montet, an Egyptologist, made the discovery of Susens I's tomb in 1939. Susens I was a king who governed Egypt around 3,000 years ago. Tanis, a city in the Nile Delta, was the site of his tomb, which was situated there. According to what Montet discovered, the pharaoh was put to rest while wearing a magnificent burial mask made of gold and was buried in a coffin made of silver. Due to the fact that Susens I was buried in a silver coffin, he is also known as the Silver King. Canopic jars, which were supposed to preserve some of the pharaoh's organs, and Shabti figures, which were meant to assist the monarch in the afterlife, were both uncovered, despite the fact that part of the burial goods did not survive due to the high level of humidity in the delta. Due to the fact that the tomb was found towards the beginning of the Second World War, it did not garner much notice from the media. Now let's talk about the Tomb of King Tut. It is possible that the tomb of Tutankhamun, located in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt, is the most famous archaeological discovery that has ever been made. The tomb was discovered in 1922 by a team headed by Howard Carter, and it had a wonderful collection of artifacts, one of which was Tutankhamun's death mask, which is regarded as almost a symbol in modern culture. Carter entered the tomb on November 26, 1922. As he struggled to describe the wonders he saw that day, he wrote in his diary, "As one's eyes became accustomed to the glimmer of light, the interior of the chamber gradually loomed before one, with its strange and wonderful medley of extraordinary and beautiful objects heaped upon one another." In other words, the interior of the chamber gradually loomed before one. Tutankhamun, sometimes referred to as the Young King, passed away while he was only a teenager. According to the findings of the examination of his remains, he had a number of different health issues and walked with the assistance of a cane. He spent a significant portion of his reign, approximately 1332 BC to 1323 BC, attempting to restore Egypt's traditional polytheistic religion. This was something that had been disrupted when his father, the pharaoh Akhenaten, began a revolution that placed an emphasis on the primacy of the Aten, the sun disk. After the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, there was a flurry of activity in the media, as well as a notion that the opening of the tomb had let loose a curse. Up next, we have the Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone, which dates back to 196 BC and contains a decree issued by a council of priests, is evidence that Ptolemy V, who was just 13 years old when the decree was made, had the authority to govern Egypt. The edict was inscribed on the Rosetta Stone in 3 different languages: hieroglyphic, Greek, and Demotic. This is what makes the Rosetta Stone so extraordinary. Only the Greek language had been deciphered at the time of the stone's discovery in 1799, but the fact that the Greek inscription transmitted the same edict as the other 2 languages was a significant factor in the scientific community's ability to decode those tongues. Because of this, it was possible to understand writings written in hieroglyphics as well as Demotic. In the year 1799, the stone was discovered by a scientific team that was traveling with a military expedition commanded by Napoleon. After some time, the British were successful in capturing the stone, and it can now be found at the British Museum. The Egyptians requested that the stone be sent back to them from Britain. Oxyrinkus Papyri is the next discovery that we are going to discuss. Archaeologists Bernard Grenfell and Arthur Hunt made the discovery of over 500,000 papyri pieces between the years 1896 and 1907. The papyri fragment dated back about 1,800 years. The scientists made the discovery of the shards in the ancient remains of Oxyrinkus, which is located in southern Egypt. Oxyrinkus was a significant ancient town that prospered during the period when the Roman Empire governed Egypt. Because of the town's dry climate, the papyri that its occupants used to record their transactions have lasted over 2 millennia. Papyri included a variety of documents, such as Christian gospels, magic spells, and even a contract to manipulate a wrestling match. Many of the papyri are now owned by the Egypt Exploration Society of the United Kingdom, which was the organization that funded the Grenfell and Hunt expeditions. These papyri are stored at the University of Oxford. Since the pieces were found, academics have been studying and interpreting the papyri, but since there are so many writings, many of them are still not published. This is because of the sheer volume of texts. The second to last discovery in this video is the settlement of the pyramids at Giza. On the Giza Plateau, archaeologists from the Ancient Egypt Research Associates, ERA, have been excavating a village on a regular basis since the year 1988. The settlement is located close to the Pyramid of Menkaure. The pyramid that was built at Giza for the pharaoh Menkaure, who ruled from 2490 to 2472 BC, was the very last pyramid to be completed there, and the local residents of Giza would have been engaged in the construction of the edifice. A port for importing commodities was one of the things that were found in the settlement, along with barracks for the military, big home for top officials, and a giant house. The findings reveal a great deal of information about the individuals who constructed the pyramids and the logistics underlying the building of the pyramids, such as how the people who built the pyramids were nourished. The last discovery in this video is Pyramid Age Papyri. Archaeologists Pierre Taillet and Gregory Marouard headed a team that made the announcement in 2013 that they'd discovered a port that had been constructed along the Red Sea around 4,500 years ago during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. There are papyri that address the construction of the Great Pyramid at Giza, which is the greatest pyramid that has ever been built. These papyri are one of the discoveries. According to the papyri, the Great Pyramid's exterior casing was made of limestone that was transported from a quarry at Tura to Giza through the Nile River and a network of canals. The papyri were found in Egypt. According to the papyri, the journey by water from Tura to Giza took around 4 days. In addition, the papyri gave information on the length of time that Khufu governed Egypt, and disclosed that in the 27th year of the pharaoh's reign, a vizier by the name of Ankaf was in command of the building of the pyramids. And that's all for now, folks. Thanks for watching our video on rare discoveries of ancient Egypt. We hope you found it as interesting and informative as we did. If you're looking for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. As always, thank you for watching.